Welcome back to the TrailBLAZER Pod. I'm your host Faye, and each week I bring you stories of Jewish women paving bold paths. This week, we're brushing up on more than just makeup. Meet Allison, artist, entrepreneur, and founder of Shabbos Brushups, beauty line redefining faith and self-expression. Allison's journey starts with a love for art and design and evolves into a business that beautifully blends creativity, spirituality, and community. She's here to share how she built a brand that honors Shabbos, empowers women, and turns beauty into a form of advocacy, one brushstroke at a time. Let's dive in. It's so good to see you again. We saw each other at the Female Founded event in Crown Heights, and
Yes.
unfortunately we didn't get to talk to each other, but
No.
today we're going to do a deep dive into you and your life and your work, so maybe it was meant to be.
Yes, it was meant to be.
Thank you so much for being here. So before we talk about your business and how that all started, I want to know what you were like as a little kid. I want to understand where this all started, right? Who are you? Where did this creativity come from? Talk to me about Allison as a kid.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so Allison as a kid. Where do I begin? Okay,
Yeah.
so I was brought up modern Orthodox, first of all. I was always, I would say, very creative in my own way. Okay, so like, for example, my bedroom was like the walls were like full of like posters and bands and black lights and like all these like funky creative things
Yeah.
like art and all that stuff. I had black light, like, lights and like all those fun
Oh
things.
gosh.
And like, listen, US,
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
candles going, lava lamps. I loved being different. Okay. And I always like, I don't know, I loved to always be creative in my own way. So even though I had beautiful beautiful wallpaper up basically that my parents did for me,
Yeah.
they saw that I basically just covered everything with just like, again, random, like just artsy stuff, posters of bands. I love music. So, and you know what? My mom never gave me a hard time about it. She never said, I can't believe this. How can you cover all the walls? Blah, blah, blah. She let me be who I wanted to be. She let me do what I wanted to do. I went through a gothic stage. I went through a punk stage.
Me too.
Yes, I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like black eyeshadow,
I was
like all the stuff.
Yes.
I know.
Black nails still.
There you
See,
go.
I'm not over it. Anyway, yes, I had, yeah, literally, I had punky hair, I had piercings, the whole thing. But that was really like, again, like that wasn't because I was a rebel. I was always a good girl in that way. I was never into drugs or anything like that. I think I was just expressing myself in my own way. And I used my creativity by just like doing different things, being a little punky, being a little gothicy. I have a little bit of a mysterious dark side,
Yeah.
and I guess it's all from being an artist.
For a while, as I'm growing into myself and becoming more comfortable with like being a little bit more feminine, I'm wearing pink. Never would have happened when I was in my grunge punk phase.
What you're saying about the pink, yes.
Yeah.
I think
So it sounds like we had a lot of alignment there. So for a while, I think like in my later 20s, I was a little bit embarrassed that I went through that stage. It took me like inner work to be like there was nothing wrong with that. I was experimenting. I was trying to figure out who I was. Again, I wasn't hurting anybody. I wasn't trying to rebel. It was kind of like what expressing in different ways, right? And that's what I
right.
was feeling at the time. I was very grungy. Everyone's like, "You're so punk." I'm like, "No, I'm grunge. I'm grunge."
Okay, Jenkos. Okay, I don't know. I
Yes.
mean, I'm probably a lot older than you, but Jenkos. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever. Like these big Jenko jeans, chains, like all this like funky
I
stuff.
wish I
You know
knew
what?
you.
And I know, and you know what? I just felt cool. I was being me. I was being me. I was always
That's
comfortable
amazing.
with who I am. And yes, I was a little bit different. I'm still a little bit different. I don't do what everybody does. I don't dress the way everybody does. And that's me. That's me.
I
And
love it.
I think that's great the way you are and the way you
Thank you.
are.
I'm glad you mentioned your mom because my question was going to be if your family kind of supported your creativity or valued creativity. Were you kind of, let me rephrase, were you the only one in your family that was like that? Or did you have others that you were emulating? Did you feel alone in that? Did you feel like the black sheep?
So it's me and my brother. Okay, he's
Okay.
2.5 years older than me, and yeah, I was the one. I like he's not like that. I mean, he's amazing. He's an endodontist. He's
Oh,
very
cool.
smart and all that, all that stuff. But anyway, no, it was really just this is me. I have the create like I was more creative.
Did you find yourself feeling different from your friends? Did you feel like people didn't understand you?
No, actually, it's funny you say that because like I'm going back to like sleepaway camp and like Camp La Vie, and I had friends that went to Hafter, and they got a kick out of, and hopefully some people have, someone's watching. Oh my God, Allison, because like they got a kick out of the fact that I had this like punky dark side. In fact, I had like this like poster. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Maybe it was like Marilyn Manson. I'm like embarrassed to even say.
Yeah, no, say whatever you want to say.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, there was a black spider. By the way, I'm really scared of spiders, but back in sleepaway camp, there was a black spider that like anytime you would clap, it would come down.
No
And
way.
like if you were in a bunk with someone like that, you'd be like, okay, this girl is really freaky and out of her mind. But they thought it
They
was
loved it.
hysterical. Because yeah, like they just got a
Yeah.
kick out of like, okay, I'm different, I'm whatever. But like at the same
It
time,
was entertaining, I'm sure, right? Because they're all the same, and then
yes,
there's
yes.
you.
And you know what? I was friends with them. And I have a lot of, even now, like I have a lot of all different types of
Yeah.
friends, all different types of people that, and I love being with friends that are different than me. And at the time when I went through those stages and those phases, I was still able to be friends with people. Like I wasn't like a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
like I didn't have friends. I had a lot of friends. I always had friends and I was always out there socializing and all that stuff. So people accepted me for who I was. If that answers your question.
It does, yeah, 100%. So, speaking of creativity, you attended FIT, right? What did you want to do with your life?
Okay, so yes, I went to FIT. Like my major was in display and exhibit designing, which was displaying
Mm,
windows of stores. I learned how to do like logos and all that stuff. But what I want to do, I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do then. I just knew that I wasn't the best student as far as like book
mhm.
smart type thing.
Yeah.
Like just was never really into school in that way. And I just loved doing creative things, whether it was, just art or like learning how to create windows and stuff like that. Like I just love the creativity. I love to use my mind and just kind of come up with my own thing. And at the time I also took a makeup class just to learn about makeup because I
Mhm.
feel like makeup isn't, an art. It's,
Yeah.
being an artist.
It's like painting on
It
faces, yeah.
is, and I loved it. And I just took the course because I wanted to just like, I mean, I always wore makeup as a teen and everything, black lipstick,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever. So I was always into makeup. And then after I took that course, I was like, wow, I love this. Makeup is art. Like I could do something with this. So I took my skills that I learned in FIT and I combined that with being a makeup artist. And on my own, I created my own logo. I did my own website. Everything that I do from Shabbos Brushups, I'm
Is
proud
you.
to say, is me. As far as my packaging goes, actually, I have my new eyeliner here, but
Oh,
um,
amazing.
this is really cool, by the way. See, it comes with a brush. All right. Anyway,
Amazing.
just whatever. But the
I
point,
love the passion.
see, ADD. The point is that I learned everything from from being a makeup artist, packaging to makeup, everything that's on my line
Is you.
is me. And I'm not saying it like is me, like I'm so amazing, I'm so incredible. Not at all. It's because I love it so much. And I put
Yeah.
what I love into my work. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
decided to take makeup as like, I took my business into being a makeup artist for all occasions, which is what I do, and coming out with my own line of Shabbos Brushups, which is
Yep.
typically the plan.
Which we're gonna really get into in a minute. But before that, let's circle back to you're
Okay.
young, you ended up going to Israel, right?
Yeah.
And you became more religious when you were in seminary. So can you talk to me about that journey? Like, how did that happen?
Yes. Okay. So going from my punky gothic
Yeah.
stage, right? So I went from FIT. I decided to go to Neve, Yerushalayim in Israel, because I just felt like I just had some spiritual pull going on, and I just wanted to fulfill that need. And I think a lot of my creativity and I guess a little bit of my dark side, my mysterious side is also like, I feel like it's like it has to do with also your spirituality. So I wanted to take that piece and turn it into bring out my spiritual side.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
I
100%.
just feel like it's like an inner feeling
Yeah.
I always had. So I went to Neve Yerushalayim, and Wow. Okay. And by the way, I went there in jean pants, jeans, obviously everything appropriate. I was always appropriate. I was modest in my own modern way. And I took a course. I was started out in Mechina with Rabbi Kelman, who was phenomenal and very popular. I was blown away because when you're in yeshiva, like, in high school, you're just learning with, everything you're supposed to, but I feel like they don't get to the bottom of the real, like, spiritual, religious needs. I wanted to know, how do we know Hashem is our God? Like, I just wanted to really, like,
Yeah.
learn more, like, all that type of stuff. And I became very from it. And after Israel, I mean, I definitely became very religious. And then I'm still very religious, and I just kind of balance myself out now with being in, like, in the world, and like being, like, in the
Right.
world and being spiritual at the same time, not just on a spiritual high all the time, but like
Right.
being able to, like, to be grounded where
Yeah.
I'm able to still be me, wearing makeup, having nail, like all
Yeah.
that stuff, but also from.
Right. I think it's really cool and inspiring how you kind of learn to mix those two together, and you're still, I could see you have your own identity and like lane, and you haven't lost that. So I think that's inspiring for people to
I
listen to.
Exactly. And it's very hard to, like, to learn that balance. And I think a
100%.
lot of people have a hard time with that when they come back from STEM and they're just like in their own bubble, and like, and not knowing, like how to balance being in life, but also, being very frum and being very spiritual. It's like, it's
Yeah,
very hard. It's very hard. And I struggle with
definitely.
that too. But at times, I feel good with who I am because I'm myself. I'm my creative artsy self, and I combine that as being a makeup artist to coming out with my own line of Shabbos Brushups because it's spiritual.
Yeah, you really integrated like both sides to it.
That's a good word. Integrate.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I like integrated better than balance, because balance is almost like
Okay,
it's too
good.
separate, and integrated is like you're learning to have it all together and like mushed together almost
Yeah.
in one, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious how friends and family reacted to you becoming more from.
So I was brought up always modern Orthodox. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Orthodox, keeping Shabbos, kosher, all that stuff, very like young Israel. I came back, and yes, definitely my aunts, my uncles on my more modern side. It was definitely like, I definitely heard a lot of jokes like, oh, Rebbitzin, this, you're covering your knees, and, like, whatever, like all that stuff. I
Yeah.
definitely went through all that. I think they really liked it. I think it was definitely inspiring, but I definitely got, like, they definitely joked around. And but again, I was comfortable with who I was, and I always did what I felt was right for me.
But I think like from you being a little girl and being okay with you being a little bit different and actually embracing it and maybe liking it, you had that, I feel like, that inner like strength to just be like, this is who I am, kind of like take it or leave it situation,
Exactly.
right?
I was always, and you know what? I have to thank my parents for that because they helped me, like, build my confidence. I always felt good in my own skin. And
It's
I
amazing.
a lot of it has to do with how I was raised.
So your Shabbos makeup line, was that like you come back from seminary? I'm just curious timeline. Did you right away know you wanted to do something with Shabbos makeup, or it started as regular makeup, you were doing faces, and then you got this idea?
Right. Okay. So when I came back from SAM, also I went to Turo. I went into business also. So I also combined my, business skills with my FIT, artsy stuff.
Amazing.
So when I started doing makeup applications and then getting really into it, and obviously turning into a whole business, and I was actually selling at the time this other brand of Shabbos makeup, and it was the kind that you have to, like, scrape it. It was like a very, I guess,
Old school.
old school, yeah. I love the idea, and I saw that people hadn't, like, they love the idea too. I wasn't crazy about the pigment, the way the makeup was and everything, but I love the idea, and I saw that there was a need for it. So on my own, I said, I am gonna come out with my own line, and it's gonna be highly pigmented makeup. I want it to be good quality makeup. I literally researched, like, rabbis and everything. I met up with
Wow.
rabbis. Like, I have a manufacturer that creates the powders. I met with them. I told them the colors I want. I mean, it was really just a whole thing, like,
Wow.
whole thing. I had to learn all the halachas about the Shabbos makeup, obviously, first, and then I took it to the manufacturers, and I basically told them, how I want the powders to be, because the powders, even though they're powders, it's not drawing powders. It's very pigmented. It's like very, like, smooth, kind of like a cream, but it's really a powder. And I just really wanted to take it to a whole new level of mineral makeup. And I worked very, very hard. on everything. And
Yeah.
I did it myself. And it definitely, it was definitely like it took time till it got more popular and grew, to grow. But thank God it's really growing tremendously. And it's now in all different locations, all different communities. And I'm
Um,
just still trying to continue to get it out there because Shabbos is the most beautiful day of the week. So why not look the most beautiful?
yeah. Your one line pitch. I love it. um, can you explain for people who are listening and don't know the rules, why are you not allowed to use regular makeup on Shabbos and what's different about your line?
Okay, so as far as regular makeup goes, on Shabbos, basically you're not supposed to smear, right? So you can't use any cream. So you can't use foundation creams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have a foundation powder. So the powder has to be dry, okay? And it basically can't be like mixed with any liquid because it can't turn into a cream. You can't smear any makeup on your face, right? So when it comes to regular makeup, there's, the foundation, the concealers, it's more of a cream consistency,
Right.
right? As far as the Shabbos makeup goes, it's a powder, and then there are different rules and guidelines about that. Basically, your face has to be dry also. Okay. You can't have a wet face because if you apply the powder on your face, it could end up like turning it to like a cream consistency and also lasting longer in your face. So that's
Mm,
another guideline. Again, like there are a lot of different guidelines that comes also with the Shabbos makeup. So yeah, so it has to be in a powder form, and also as far as like regular makeup, so there's lipstick, right, or gloss. So the gloss is more of like has like more of a thick consistency gloss. So my gloss for Shabbos makeup comes in a roller bowl, so it's not like in a
mm,
sponge applicator because that can't be used on Shabbos. And also it's more of like a liquid form. It's so this way it's able to pour versus being like more like a gel. You
sticky.
can't use a
Yeah.
gel on Shabbos, right? So the liquids that I do have on the line, it has to be able to pour over, and also it also has to be clear. It can't be mixed with any color. So you're not allowed to mix any of my powders with the liquids because now you're creating a color with the liquid, which is also not
Interesting.
permissible to use on Shabbos. It has to be clear because that's like could be like painting where it lasts
Right.
longer when the color is mixed with the liquid. So there are a lot of different guidelines. Also, brushes has to be separate. You're not supposed to mix any of the powder colors on Shabbos. So let's say you want to use a blush and a bronzer, you should really choose do you want blush or bronzer or put it like in the other areas of the face. So this way the colors don't mix because you're not supposed to create a new color on Shabbos as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the basics of it.
Became like a little scientist, like a formula scientist. Like, because there's is so much that goes into it. I think like when you
Repetitive
buy
science.
it,
Yeah.
you don't realize like the amount of guidelines that go into you figuring out how to make this work for somebody.
I mean, all the guidelines are by Rabbi Shmuel Fashalis, which is Rav David Feinstein's son-in-law. So everything goes by the guidelines of Moshe Feinstein's Shuva. So this, I'm just going by, of course, everything that I was told. I'm under, the Shabbos Brushups is under Hashgacha, and
Yeah.
always updated certification, which is also very, very, very important. I know there are other Shabbos makeup brands, but it's very, very important for people to always ask about the Hashgacha, who the rabbi is, and make sure it's an updated certification because you could have a Rav that was Nifter many, many years ago, or just Nifter in general. And if there's no one that you can, ask just to be sure of anything, or if there are other colors or other products that come on the line, you need to know that this rabbi is there if you have any
Right.
questions and that it's updated. So that's something I'm very, very, very strict about. And when
Yeah.
somebody and as far as the halachas go, again, like I'm not perfect. I'm not a rebbe or anything like that. But when it comes to Shabbos brush up, Shabbos makeup, I always want to make sure I'm explaining it properly on all my boxes. It tells you the instructions of Shabbos application. It has a QR code that takes you straight to the halacha guidelines, the certification.
Wow.
And there are other rabbis that also approve of Shabbos brush-ups. We're under Ashkenaz and Sephardic hashgacha. So that's one thing I'm very, very strict about that because it's a liability, and I want to make sure everyone's doing it properly, as well
That's
as
amazing.
wearing, the products, like knowing how to apply the products the right way, but doing it the right way on Shabbos.
Yeah. No shortcuts for you. Your Instagram specifically, you also have a lot of videos where you explain like the guidelines behind it and why and all the really the nitty-gritties of what you're doing, right? So,
Yeah, so I try to really make a lot of videos and stuff. Yes, I'm very active on social media. I show also a lot of my makeup applications, and if you
mm,
tap on the pictures, you'll see the products that I use as of Shabbos brush ups, and also I have a long lasting weekday line too. But I really promote more of my Shabbos Brushups line.
Yeah.
But the reason why I do that is because I want to also show that when I do makeup applications, I also use my Shabbos Brushups products because it's very pigmented. So even though it's
Yeah.
not considered long lasting makeup, when I use long lasting makeup and I just touch up with, let's say, some Shabbos Brushups blush on top, it gives that nice
Right.
dewy look. So, so this way people could see how it looks on my clients and then
Right.
can purchase it that way. But then there are a lot of people don't want me to post them, which I'm always respectful about. So I like to do my own things too. Do my,
Right.
tutorials, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I try to
So
really, make it easy for people to see, to understand the halachas, to see my work as a makeup artist and all that. So it's a lot of
I love that you do the videos of yourself because I think it's like makes people connect, really understand like who you are, what's behind the brand, instead of just like,
right,
hey,
instead of
here's a
just other
product.
people, right, right, exactly. So I like to do a
Yeah.
little bit of everything, like showing my like regular makeup, showing the Shabbos makeup, and there's just a lot. It's a beautiful field. I really really love it. I have to say. I mean, I think it's such a great business, the makeup business, the beauty industry.
So I think I heard correctly. You were saying that even non-Jewish women use your makeup, your Shabbos makeup.
Yeah, so I joined the makeup show in New York City last year, and when I was there, I didn't know how I was going to go at the time because there's a lot of like anti-Semitism going on. It was in New York City, but I have to tell you, I really had like a lot of love from a lot of all different types of people, not Jewish or, just even Jewish that's like not religious. They were
Yeah.
like, wow, like this is so interesting. It's like kosher makeup. Like there's a rabbi that gives certain to this. Like that's so cool. And yeah, I have people that buy my makeup like from all different places, even like my online store, very busy with my online store, chabisbrushups.com. I can't get over sometimes I get orders from like Germany,
Wow.
Paris, this, and I'm like, wow, like that's so cool. And like sometimes
Yeah.
I kind of tell, like, I don't think this person's Jewish just from the name, whatever it is, but Jewish, not Jewish, it's for everybody. Obviously, if you are Jewish, then you should be following the guidelines for on Shabbos. And if you're not, you could use my makeup, if
However.
you want. You don't have to go through the guidelines. You could use my makeup just to use my makeup because it's very high pigmented, it's a good quality makeup, but I don't
Yeah.
think I seem to get really good feedback from it of all different types of people.
So cool. So, obviously you're creative, but you also really started a business. It's not just that you're, utilizing creative side. You actually started like something from the ground up. And so I love interviewing women who are business owners, founders, because it's inspiring, I think, for young women, especially young Jewish women, to hear such stories. So I'm curious, looking back, what has been the most unexpected outcome since starting this line and being a business owner?
I mean, obviously I love it, but there are certain things that happen that's, it's not always so easy. Like having your own business, being your own business. Like sometimes I will actually like admire someone that has like a job where they know like they go from like 9 to 5 and then they come home and
Right.
they're done with their day.
Yeah.
And I it's so crazy. Like I think like, wow, like I think I would like that. Like I'm done with my
Really?
I really don't feel like I'm always done with my day. I don't know. First of all, my mind's always going. I'm just always going. And my makeup itself, the products itself are from America, but my packaging is from China. So
Mm.
I'm up late at night a lot of times speaking to them.
Wow.
So that's, so I'm just saying, like, as far as being a business owner,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, it's not so simple. It sounds amazing and it is amazing and I love it and I wouldn't do it any other way. But sometimes I think of like, what would it be like if I didn't have to do everything? Constantly thinking about the next step and like what can I do next? How can I continue to grow? How can I, and connections and meeting with people and trying to get my line, out, like in all different places, distributors, I have distributors. So yes, as much as I love it, it's
Yeah.
sometimes so nice to just, you have a job and then you're like done.
Yeah.
I come home and I'm with my family. I put my phone away. I cook. I definitely try to balance everything as much as I can because family to me is always first and always important. But definitely my mind's always going as far as what can I do to improve my business? I'm just,
Yeah.
so sometimes as a business owner, as a boss, as much as, you could look at someone and say, wow, like it's so
It's like
cool.
glamorous.
Well, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Like she could come in, come to work when she wants, leave this and that.
Right.
But it could be very, I get anxious. I get
Yeah.
anxious. I'm in control of how my business is going to be. So
I think that's a really good point because when you're on top of of a company or business, you live and breathe every single part of it, right? So
Oh,
you got to be so passionate about what you're doing to keep going and deal with the pressure.
absolutely. And I'm also like, I like to be in control of it. I do.
Yeah,
Everything, like I said, I started everything from scratch. I design everything. Okay.
I
And
love
again,
it.
I'm telling you this because I'm so into it
Yeah,
and I'm always working so much more because I do it like
right.
tough. It might sound crazy,
Yeah.
but I enjoy it, but I work really hard. I do. I do work very hard.
Wow. So I would consider you like a value driven business because it's coming from you said you're integrating your spiritual part with this, right? You have a purpose of why you're doing this. It's for basically to provide access to Orthodox or Jewish women who want to go by the Shabbos guidelines, right?
Right.
So for let's take like a young girl, 20, whatever. She wants to start her own business. Can you give her advice on how to start?
I definitely get asked these questions, by the way. How do you become like a successful makeup artist, this and that, and all.
Yeah.
So I have to say it's really not easy. It really took a lot of work. I started doing makeup applications just randomly for fun on friends, on people, and then I again like turned it into a whole business. But for anyone that's starting out, anyone wants to create their own business, I would say, first of all, you really should love what you do. That's the key to success because if you love what you do, I believe that you will really put your heart and soul into it. And that's really, that's
Yeah.
really what I do. But I think that they should definitely learn all the techniques of what they want to do. So let's say they want to be a makeup artist, they should learn, obviously, take courses and learn everything. Experience is key. You have to just keep practicing and also take what you learn from your teachers, from the makeup artists, but also learn your own techniques. Be you. So,
Right.
as much as I've learned from the makeup artists, makeup courses, I've taken courses from celebrity makeup artists. I've taken
Wow.
airbrush courses and I've taken a lot of courses, not just one. And I take from what they're teaching, but I also do my own thing. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's like a balance of learning, but also creating your own style as
Right.
as being an artist, but also as far as being a business owner, I feel like it's the same thing. You want to take what you know, but also do things a little different. And I think that's what people like, do a
Yeah.
little bit different. And I think that that really inspires people and definitely taking some time on it and patience because it takes time.
Mm. Yeah, that's a
Patience.
hard one. Yeah. I think you made a really good point there because I think a lot of times we watch or we study people who are in the same industry and we're like, okay, if this and this worked for them, I got to do it the same way. And it's actually people appreciate when sure, you can take little pieces of it and learn and implement, but people appreciate when you kind of show that it's your own thing and what worked for them might not work for you because you're a different
Exactly.
person, right?
Exactly.
So
And everyone should have their own style. Yeah.
it's a really good point. So we can have a whole episode about your advocacy work after October 7th because it's incredible. You use your platform for that. But today I want to ask you if when you started this, were you at all nervous about how it's going to affect your following or your business?
Okay. So as soon as October 7th happened, first of all, if anything, I was like, wow, I'm gonna now take my feelings and my passion for Israel and my people, the Jewish people, and I'm gonna combine that with my Shabbos Brushups makeup because Shabbos Brushups is it's a Jewish makeup.
Yeah.
Obviously it's for everybody, for anybody and everybody, but to me, Judaism, like I connect my makeup line with my Judaism.
Yeah.
So when October 7th happened, I started doing videos on the soldiers and showing, like I was connecting like my makeup with what was going on in Israel. I was not worried at all. If anything, it grew my business. It
Wow.
did. Now, it did without even knowing because
Right.
again, I don't do anything or say anything to just promote my business when it comes to Israel or October 7th or anything like that. But I noticed that a lot of women, a lot of people were buying my makeup because they wanted to do something right on Shabbos since October 7th.
Ah, interesting. So
So
cool.
when I took everything that was going on from October 7th and I was talking about my makeup and Israel. And yes, a lot of people like
Wow.
they would come to me in the store, they would like, message me saying, I want to take on something on Shabbos. I want to take on your Shabbos makeup on Shabbos because, it's something that I want to do after October 7th. I even have some women that come to me that aren't religious, don't keep Shabbos, but they want to try Shabbos makeup.
Wow.
And that was, to me, that was like, wow, wow. I'm
That's
able to
incredible.
help. I'm able to,
You're making a difference. You're really making a
yes,
difference.
yes. And by the way, this is all Hashem. I mean, this is all like literally like Hashem gave me this opportunity to take what I love and to help people keep Shabbos. And it was like just incredible.
Wow.
I'm still very I'm not shy or ashamed to say
Yeah.
I loved Israel. I love the Jewish people. I will always fight for them. I will always, I mean, it's just like I just feel like everything's a connection. I also, when I went to Israel, I actually made a product called United We Glam, and I went to the Chayalot and to the women soldiers, and I showed them my makeup, and I
Oh.
put my Shabbos makeup on them, and they loved it. They were like,
Oh.
"Wow, Shabbat makeup! I could put on Shabbat."
That's I love it.
And I was putting makeup on them, and it's amazing. So
Wow.
yes, I combining Israel, Judaism to my makeup, and I am not ashamed of it at all. And I'm all for it. And I just anything I could do to help someone keep Shabbos or do anything, and if they could be more religious, just in any way, and wearing my makeup on Shabbos, doing it the right way. That's I'm all in.
Yeah. And you do it in a very respectful way where you're not saying you have to have Shabbos makeup, right? You're saying
Oh,
if you want to, you now have a good option for it, which is
oh
very
yeah,
beautiful, right?
absolutely. I respect everybody.
And it's very clear. It's very clear
Very,
with
very
you.
open to everybody. Listen, I know what it is to be more modern. I have friends that aren't Jewish. I know so many different types of people. I don't judge anybody. I have people that come to me and say, "Oh, I'm not ready to use your makeup." Don't I said,
That's cute that they say that.
yeah, like
Yeah. I'm
believe
not there yet.
me, come, and I'm like, you know what? No worries, no
Mm.
pressure. Please, like you
So
do
sweet.
you. Like
I love though that it wasn't even a question for you whether to like speak up after October 7th, because I think a lot of people are very nervous when they have this very
mix their business with
to
it.
mix their business with their views,
Right.
right? But every woman that I've had on here that I've asked this question said the same thing as you, that it actually skyrocketed their business. It did the opposite
It did
effect.
because it did. Maybe there are some people that don't agree with me, but I'm Jewish, and
Yeah.
I've
You're bringing your full self to the business, to the business,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I just feel like, how can you not speak up if you're Jewish? I really don't get into those political things, okay?
Yeah.
And I love everyone for who they believe in. That's fine. I could be friends with someone and also disagree with them.
Right.
But as far as sticking up for my country, sticking up for my people, of course I will. Of
Yeah.
course I will. And if there's anyone that says, "Oh, I'm not going to buy her makeup because she talks about Israel." Okay.
Right.
If you feel that way, fine.
Yeah, it's almost like a skill that people have to learn these days. Is like you
Yeah.
don't have to agree with
You
everybody
don't have to agree.
to
Like,
respect the other person.
respect. It's not my place to judge anybody, is what I'm
Right.
saying. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm just here to promote my line, to promote the love for Israel, for our people, and they should just love my makeup and feel beautiful on Shabbos and do it the right way. And
Yeah.
I just want to share love. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So my last question that I ask all my guests is what being a trailblazer means to you.
What being a trailblazer means to me. So I would say someone that, let's say, is doing something that they love doing, is going after what they love and leading the way, leading the path,
Yeah.
inspiring others. I mean, if I'm able to be that person, if I'm able to inspire others by doing what I do in my business and just being the person I am on social media, that means so much to me.
There you go. Great answer. I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing. Obviously, you're a businesswoman, which is incredible of itself. You're a Jewish
Yeah.
businesswoman, which adds an extra layer. But another layer on top of that is that you actually have a real value and purpose and meaning behind the business that you created. The women I bring on here, I hope that, young women can tune in and listen and learn something and adapt. So I really, really appreciate you coming on. And it's finally I get to talk to you and get to know you a little bit. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and you
Absolutely.
are a true inspiration as well. So
Thank you, Allison.